Hi, everybody. It's Janet at Fruit of the Vine Art Studio in Cincinnati, Ohio. Thank you so much for joining me here today. It's another beautiful day. I know that we are here in the middle of February, but once again, we're above 50 here in Cincinnati anyway, and it kind of gives you that spring type feeling. And, if you're like me, the last thing I want to do is start painting some kind of a Christmassy scene right now. I'm still thinking about being out and hiking or going to the beach or something like that. And actually, the more I started, for some reason I heard the music playing from Zelda today. If you ever play Zelda, I love Zelda games. I love Link. I've always been a fan of the Link games. So I heard the Into the Lost Woods, Kokory Forest, and I thought, oh yeah, that's like my favorite tune and one of the best places to be running around in that game. It's always fun. Lost Woods, you're in there getting lost. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do today. I'm just going to paint a wooded area that makes me think of what it would be like had I gone there. So I'm going to tilt you down and we're going to get started. Now, as you can see, no, you can't because I got you too close. As you can see, there's nothing on here today. I'm just going to paint. I don't normally do that, but today I'm just going to paint. And I'm going to start out with some yellow. If I can get it to come out here, I'm going to get me out some yellow. I'll probably be needing more of that, so. And let me see, I'm going to get a little bit of a blue. Now, I don't know if I want that bright blue. I think I do want this bright blue. And I don't really want that to have any kind of a green into it. So I'm going to start out with just using the yellow and this fan brush. And I'm going to just sort of start with some yellow here in this area and just make that really bright right here. And then I'm going to rinse that off a little bit. I'm going to get me some black out as well. Maybe I shouldn't use black. Maybe I should do that with a brown. Let me try a burnt umber instead to mix with this. And that's getting my yellow a moment to dry too while I'm trying to get some of this out. There we go. I'm going to go back to my little fan brush. Oh, I need a little bit of white too, don't I? And I want some white over on this side. And I'm going to get me just a touch of the blue on the tip of my fan brush, and I'm going to get some of the white over here, and I'm going to make me a light, light blue color. And I'm just going to bring it in right around through here. Now, that's not my sun. That's just a bright yellow in the background that we're going to work into this. And I don't want to overwork this and make a green color. So I'm just going to add a little more blue to my blue. Get it a little bit darker. Work that in around the outer part of this. Let me get a little bit of water on it. Loosen it up a little bit. Make it a little darker towards the bottom here. Okay, then I'm going to go into this darker blue here. And touch of white. And just sort of work this inward. Okay, and I'm going to get my little fan brush and put it up for a second here and get me a bigger brush. I'm going to use this guy. Bring him in here with this deeper blue. Oh, I got a glob of it up there, didn't I? And darken it up a little bit up this side some. I'm going to take that and just pull a little bit of that off, and then I'm going to blend this into it so that it's not looking like that. Taking it back and forth in a sort of an arcing motion, working towards the outside, and then I'm going to add just a touch of brown into my blue. Make me a deeper blue. Work it down into here. Turn this a little bit so I can get this a little better over here in this area. The light makes it hard to see here. I'm just going to darken this up as I go towards the bottom. Working more burnt umber into it as I go. Let me get just a drop of water here. Darken it up down here a bit. Okay. So you can see that it's going from a lighter blue to a darker blue down through here. Working that in a little more. Okay. So now we've got our base, our background area. You might want this to be a little lighter up here. Let me work that a little bit. Get that out of there. Get some of this lighter blue. Bring it in some now that the yellow has dried, and I can not worry about making a green color, because I really am not looking to make green. Dragging it out around the edges a little bit. Using this little chip brush here. I think this is a 1/2-inch chip brush that I'm using. Okay, so you can kind of see the rays coming off of the tree, or I mean off of the trees, off of the sun there. It almost looks like an underwater scene, doesn't it? That would be good for underwater, actually. But that's not what we're doing here. I'm waiting on this to kind of dry a little bit right here. I'm going to make some trees in this area down here, if I can get it to dry quick enough. I've got a heat gun here. Maybe I should plug that in and just hurry up and do it. Give it just a second here. Just go over some of the wet spots and dry them out a little. Okay, that ought to do for the moment. Put that in there. Get out a little bit of gold here. Use this right here. Drop of brown, burnt umber, mixing it in with my gold. Get that thing out of here. Hunk of hair, little hunk of dog hair right there. I gotta get that off the table. Coco's been up here fiddling around, huh? Okay, we're gonna darken this to start. And let me see about like here. Take it back so far. Maybe I should make it a little wider down in here. Going to about right there. And then we'll take some of that same color and kind of just move a little bit over here. Take it back that way, maybe a little wide right here. Sort of bring it back around this way. Just sort of setting myself a little area where I know I'm going to start putting things. just looking here. Where am I gonna start this? I think I'll start that right in this area. Right in here. So let me see. I think I'm gonna start by drawing some thin trees in the background. And I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow to that. Make me a yellowy brown. And I think I'm just going to take it from like, well, let me see. I know I'm going to put a tree right in this area. So we'll just work him in here real quickly. We're just getting a placement for him right now. Right in there. And there's going to be another bigger tree. Be right in here. Into that area. Just kind of pulling it up. And he doesn't have to be any kind of a perfect tree, that's for sure, because trees are not straight. Trees have all kinds of issues going on with them. So we'll just bring this and make it a little bit wider right there. Right over in here. And yes, they're going to have limbs coming off of them and all that good stuff. So we'll just kind of work that right up through here. Maybe another one coming out over here. Maybe just a small one coming through here. Trees can be just about any way you want to make them. It doesn't matter. It's up to you how you want to add it, what you want to add, where you're going to add it, whatever you want to do. I'm going to make this one a little wider. Right there, that helps. He's got... Maybe I need a smaller brush to work with. Here we go. And as you pull away, kind of lift up so that it gets smaller and thinner. Just going to kind of put that right there in front of it. Make this wider right there where it's coming out of the tree so that it looks like it's natural. Another little limb right here. You have to remember how limbs work too. They have to start fatter and get skinny. Fatter and get skinny. Same way the tree works. Make him have a limb come off right through here. We're going to have some limbs on the trees back here. There we go. Let's put a couple more trees back in here. We just had a little tree come right up out of here. Make him just a little wider towards the bottom here. He's just a skinny little tree. And we'll make another kind of thicker looking tree right here. He's kind of tilted back a little bit. That's all right. Make that a little bit wider where it connects to the tree. We'll make the tree a little bit wider coming down. And what I'm using is burnt umber mixed with yellow. Just making little limbs coming off in different places. There we go. Mix a little more of that up. Let's see how we have a little tree back in here that just kind of comes up. Just a small little tree back there. Few little limbs coming off of him in the background. Let me see, I'm going to need a tree over here. I need another tree right in here, I think. Let me turn it this way. Just making little skinny branches coming off of that one. You can kind of see the trees taking shape back in there, just making a forest is what we're doing. We're making the forest. And I'm just setting these trees with this brown and yellow. Mixing a little more of it over here. Okay, and let's see, this is going to be a bigger tree right here. I'm turning this way towards me. Bring him up through here. I'm letting it mix itself right here on this. What is that? Come off of there. Come off of there. How dare you jump on my painting, you whatever you are. We'll have this come off right there. This kind of pointed out this way. Another little limb up here. Just so that you're getting some trees in there, you know. Gotta have some trees. If you're gonna have a forest, gonna have to have some trees. I'll put another one right in here. Get some water in it. Make it just a little bit wider. A few more little V's back in this area. Ain't gonna hurt nothing. Have another limb coming off of there. Thicken that up a little bit. That's a dark, dark scene, isn't it? Don't worry, it's going to get a whole lot lighter. I can see spots with, when I turn it, I can see more spots where it needs more color to it. Okay, let's see, we'll put another tree, back in here. What's falling? I can hear something moving over here next to me. Maybe he's got a goofy limb going the wrong way. coming across back behind here, kind of going that way. Just kind of want them to work their way out of the picture in the background. That tree back there's got quite a few limbs on it. That's all right, though. We like that. This one needs to be, I guess. Well, we'll put him more along right in here. Make him a curvy tree. Because not all trees are straight, as we know. And then we'll just kind of make a tree coming out of nowhere back here. Just sort of right into the side of our picture. Just goes off to nowhere. Just sort of coming into the edge of the painting. Okay, so now we need to darken the back of the tree up a little bit. So we're going to go to the burnt umber, and we're just going to work on one side of the tree, the back side of this tree. Add the burnt umber to that. And on this side of this branch, we'll add a little darkness and bring this on up through here. Kind of bring that down into there. That's just going to help the tree have more of a shaded look real easily. Just adding the dark to it right there. And then we're just going to kind of just rub it into it so that it's not such a fine line going up the side of it, and it kind of gives it sort of a feeling. I don't know what kind of feeling it gives. It's sort of a moving look, just kind of dragging it along there. And we're going to do the same thing on these other little trees, these bigger trees, I guess I should say, not all the other little trees, just sort of a bigger trees here. A little water on here. And just sort of wiggle it back and forth, some back in here. This one will have a little Just sort of tapping it along a little. Okay. Let me look at it from this angle. Work on this one some. Kind of bringing it up a little from different angles at the bottom so that it's kind of got a little bit of a root look to it. Let me turn it a little. You can kind of see the trees getting natural shade there on that. Okay, so now these, it's going to be this side instead of that side. It's going to have the shading on it. Drag it along that limb there. Maybe just a little bit on this side. Not too much though, because that tree is pretty much in the sun. Don't want it to be too straight of a line going down there though. So kind of give it a little bit of movement here. That's going to work okay. Have another darker tree just coming in right here. Okay, I think that's going to be all right just like that. I'm not going to do too much more to that right now. Rinse this off. Let me get some of that. Let me get that fan brush. And I'm going to get the gold. And I'm just going to cut. Dab a little long here. Kind of making it wider this way. as it comes towards us. And you want to leave some of that darker underneath there showing through. That's going to be a small little path there, and there'll be a couple of little spots of the lighter color on here too, back in this area, but we'll worry about that in just a second. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to get us some base of the dark green. This brush. Using this chip brush. Let me turn it around so I can see what I'm doing here. I'm just taking the brush and bouncing it. Letting some of it come over top of the yellow here. Just going to put this back in the background here, all this green. Some of it gets in the front of my tree. I'm not going to even worry about it. A little bit of green right in here. And down through here. Get a little bit of yellow in that. Let me turn it around so I can see where I'm going with my yellow. Sort of a brighter spot here, maybe. Work this in. front of this tree. The sun's shining through here. And maybe a brighter right in here. Maybe over in here there's some brightness. Get a little more yellow on the tip of my brush. Let me tilt it up a little bit. Make this come across that way a little. Let's see, we're going to have some brighter yellow back in here. Let me not get too much of it. I need some green. I want you to see where I'm going with it, but I also want to see what I'm doing. There's some bush back in here a little bit. You can kind of see the shade and the light and the brightness of it. Let's see, I think this would be bright right in here. Make a little bit of a bush area. A little bit of bright back here. In front of these trees. That lighter back in here. Let me see, I'm trying to decide where else needs to be brighter. I think it might need to be bright right in here, behind this tree. Now, we'll work on this tree too, don't worry. But let's just make a little bright area. It comes right across through here. Out like that. See the light showing. Hey, Carol. Hey, how are ya? Hope you're having a great day. And then we'll just add a couple of little yellowishy green leaves back here on the trees. It doesn't have to be empty trees. These trees can have things on them, so we'll make some leaves. Basically by just tapping it. Tapping them in. Get me some yellow. Get me a little green. Darken it up a little back in here. Oh no, you can't see them probably. Pretty day? Yeah, we're having a really pretty day too. That just makes me want to not paint winter scenes. So here I am painting trees with leaves because, yeah, I'm ready for spring. Not that spring's... Although that groundhog said spring's on the way, so I'm going with the groundhog, man. I'm going with the groundhog. Let's get some more yellow right in here. Maybe a couple of spots of the darker green. Kind of get some of this up here in this blue a little bit. You got some little bushes back in here. That's looking pretty good. I see these little guys. And let's get a little bit of the brown and the green mixed together here, a little darker color. And just kind of throw it in a few spots, because you got to have some dark in order to have some light. Bring him up a little bit on the tree right there at the bottom so we don't really pay attention to its base. And that kind of makes that dark back through there. And you can kind of see the little trail walking back through there. You kind of walk here and then you go across back this way somewhere off into the lost woods where you're going to get lost. I mean, it's almost guaranteed you're going to get lost because it is the Lost Woods. Now, let's see. I think this still needs to have a little bit more. Just a little bit of variation along right through here. Added a little bit, just a touch of tan to it there, just a little bit, so that it's not all just that yellowish looking color there. And we'll put some right along here. Little bushes growing everywhere. Okay, so let me put this down. Get this. A little yellow. Let me look at my trees here. It's gonna drag some yellow right along this side of my trees. Sort of just getting little bits of reflections from the light. Putting that right up through there. Don't want to touch this with my hand is what I'm trying not to do. Getting just a little bit of reflection off of the sun here on these trees. So that's why I'm putting this yellow along this side. I'll hold it up in a second so you can see that it does make a difference on the trees. Instead of using white, which would have been the alternative here, I didn't want to use white on the trees. But we still want to show the reflection of the sun off of our trees, so we're going to do it with some yellow. A little bit for this big tree here. Make it a little bit wider right there. Don't want to forget this guy. We gotta get this little fella over here. I forgot about him. Don't want to forget you either. Okay, so now you can see how the yellow kind of really highlights the tree there. We've got the dark, we've got the light. Oh, Carol, I'm sorry. I didn't even see you were talking to me. Let me see. I'm ready for spring. Winter decided not to show any snow. Yeah, really, I'm glad. The flowers are popping up. Yes, mine are too. Oh, you love the painting. Love the one that hangs on your wall. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I need to add a little something to it here. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do for my sun rays or how I'm going to work it out here. I'm going to put a little bit of this gold and mix it with yellow to make me a lighter gold color. And then I'm going to put a little bit of a dabbling of it. Let's see, it kind of come. Just some little spots of it there, maybe a little bit in here. Give our little pathway a little more of a dappled sun look. And maybe there'll be just a little bit of lighter back in here. Don't want to get it too light looking there, because that's where the path is kind of going off on its own, but there's a little more light coming down this tree right here. Let me kind of pull that up. Take that down a little bit. Maybe put a little bit in here. Some little shadows. A little bit lighter in here. Not too much though, that's getting that too light. Let's put a little more dark in that. Pull that up. Moosh that around a little bit, just a little. And a little more darkness right there. I want a little more darkness along the edge. Push it up in little spiky areas. Oh. Get off of there. I see, I need some darkness right in here. Maybe back in like this. Along the edge of that. I'm going to mess up my path. And that's what it looks like I'm doing here. Maybe a little more gold in that. Make it slightly brighter down in this area. Let me look at it here. The path's getting wacky. Yeah, I guess that path looks okay going through there. Now, let me see here. Where is that dark burr number? Get that off of there. Don't need much. Just little bits and little spots. Trying to decide what else should I do to my Forbidden Woods. I guess I could make a bright white sunshine right there in the middle and then pull it out. Is this dry though? Yeah, maybe it is. Should I add more bright yellow somewhere? I'm trying to decide if I never know when I'm done, guys. That's my problem. I never know when I'm done. I just want to keep adding things and just keep doing stuff and just keep going because, well, I don't know. That's just what I'm wanting to do. I don't know why. I think it needs more green. With a touch of the yellow in it. Make the trees thicker up in here. I mean, I want some blue to show through, but I'd like the trees to have a little more of a vibe to them there. And maybe just a little bit of yellow in some spots. Take it down that way a little bit to where you got this blue opening in the background. The more I keep messing there, the more likely I'm not going to be able to make that sunshine looking like that. Gonna have to stop it, stop it, stop it. Okay, so let me see. Where's my little white dot? Okay, I get that. Get white, a touch of yellow, blend it together. Don't want it to be too white, but I don't want it to be too yellow either. We're just going to put it right there in the middle. That bright sunshine shining back in there. And then I'm going to see if this will work for me. This is what I've been told to do. So I'm going to take my finger. I'm going to push it out around the edges. Like that. I'm not real crazy about that. Put that back in there. Wait a minute, where's just a clean one? Don't want that. Give me a touch of water. Touch of water. Ooh, I gotta watch my fingers. It helps if you do it straight. Turn it a little bit. Okay, we're going to do it again. More yellow and white. Making my bright sun again. Going back to my paper towel with water on it. It's getting a bit of a sunbeam effect. Not exactly what I want, but you can kind of see the beams coming out. I'm still going to put the bright sunshine back in there, but I'm trying to get the beams to work. Heck, I don't know. I don't know if you can really see the beams that well. I think I'm going to leave it just like this, with the sunbeams coming in. Maybe I need a little rock or something down here in my little path area. I'll pat that down just a little bit, so it doesn't have such a defined edge. No. Nope, I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. Let me get a little more white on it. Nope, I think that's messing up the path. Okay, so let me just go back and fix that. I was going to put a couple of little rocks in there, but no, that is not going to work. I'll just tap that out. Get a little more of the light gold and put it on the top here. Just come it down on the path. Okay. I'm not going to keep messing with that path. That's just messing it up. Oh. What is that? There are no whys. Yeah. I appreciate that, Carol. Thank you very much. That's very sweet of you to say that. I appreciate it. Well, guys, I really don't think that I really need to add a whole lot more to it. I don't know what else I can do. Maybe. I don't know. I think it's pretty well done. I think I should stop. Sign it at the bottom and call it a day. Maybe I'll sign it in yellow. First, got to get enough yellow to work with, huh? Is there enough yellow here to work? Yeah, if I can make it. JSS. Kind of big. But that's okay. I don't care. There we go. That's the painting for the day. You can see the sun shining bright on this pretty painting. That's all I'm going to do to it. I'm going to leave it just like that. Have a great weekend, Carol. I appreciate that. Thank you. You too. I'll see you again on Wednesday. Bye now.